Hello, long time no see tubers, and welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy 1 Dawn of Souls Mod of Balance with me, BlueAnkylo. Now, it might just be the next episode in the playlist or the next day for you guys watching along, but it's been, well, a couple weeks for me. It's been, I don't want to get into it too much, but it's been really hot and gross out, so if you heard some weird fan noises the first couple episodes, that's probably what it was. And anyway, we're back in Provoca, started from where we left off, except I also, another reason for not recording for a while for me, is what did I do? I sort of messed up my save file at the end of last episode, so I had to replay through the Marsh Cave and the key turn-in fetch quest. So if our numbers look a little different, that's all it is. Hopefully nothing's vastly different. I mean, it's only been like a couple level ups and a bit of money and equipment, so it shouldn't be a big deal, but it's just kind of frustrating when you have to redo it twice. So I forget exactly where you guys were, and anyway, all that. I believe the first thing for today is to look at our magic a little bit and pick up some more level 3 spells, and then go shopping for equipment. I believe I have the same stuff approximately as last time. I may not have sold the extra worm killer off. Yeah, I didn't do that. So I've got an extra worm killer we can sell, or two, and I didn't buy the long swords like we did last time. I think I forgot about that. So anyway, let's look at the magic shop for level 3 stuff that I would want for my characters. So Beret, one thing I was thinking about sort of between episodes is he's always going to be kind of average for stats and maybe a little bit below average for intellect, depending on how his luck goes. So he's never going to do, like, great magic damage with the big offensive spells, or heal a lot with the healing spells. His heals a lot less than Melior's, if you know what I mean. So he might do better with the spells that don't scale off your intelligence, like Null Blaze, which is just straight up fire protection, and Null Shock. I would have to erase a spot and have him cast that. But it might be better to use his MP and turn for that than to worry about trying to cast Cura. And even stuff like the status inflictions, if I understand correctly, the mod makes it so it uses the caster's intelligence as a factor for its chance to hit. So that's interesting. I want to see what level 3 black magic he can learn as well. Pretty much whatever I want to teach him by the looks of things. The problem is that the level 3 black magic is all damage or status ailment that would kind of use his intelligence. Not counting slow, it's these 3. So, I think there's not a whole lot of, like, amazing spells here for level 3. I'm going to teach him Null Blaze, and I'm going to make sure he's got Null Shock as well. I'm pretty sure his physical attack will do more damage than Blizzard, like, almost instantly. So let's just get rid of that, because he's going to have pretty good weapons, and I don't think he's going to struggle for a single target attack. So unless, like, his single target magic is probably never going to be very valuable. But it's more likely that I might have him cast Null Shock, depending on what we're fighting against. In the mod, it's harder to get elemental protection. You can't just slap a ribbon on everybody like you used to and just be good at that point. Now, big heal to single target might be worth it. I mean, I say big. Cura is just bigger than usual. What do I want everybody to learn? Let's see what Jade could learn. Can Jade learn any of this stuff? Could learn Null Blaze, but yeah, again... I can probably let Beret handle the Null spells, at least at the low levels. And then I can let my mages, my more offensive casters focus on nuke damage. And technically there's Warp, as the final level 3 spell in Elfland, and if Beret can learn Warp, that's a perfect spell for him as well, actually. For now, having Fira and Thundera is nice. There's quite a few enemies weak to lightning in general. Yeah, I'm not gonna have my my Sage Melior worry about these kinds of spells, but he might need like a big single target heal, bigger. And I don't think we're gonna use Mute. The only enemy I thought of that would be useful on would be Astos in general, and well, there's probably some enemies in the mod that it would be nice to have that status effect, but well, alright, I'm gonna stop messing around here pretty quickly, I promise. It's difficult. There's so many spells, and they're all tweaked a little bit. It'd be nice to have someone that was good at Blind or something, but I'd rather have Fire and Thundera, and then Warp is quite useful, and so is Cura. So I don't want to cut out on any of this right now. Alright, that's it. That's done. Let's sell some of the definitely we're not going to use weapons. Like, we've got a lot of equipment that I've picked up. I think I just need to sell a bunch of it just to make some more money. The truth is I don't want to spend a lot of money on equipment other than some cheap upgrades, because we're going to have access to 2 new towns and 2 weapon shops, well, basically now. So, there's probably not the best time to spend all our money, basically. But I just wanted to see if there's anything we've got, like, the Werebuster is technically better than the Longsword. So I guess better than the Mithril Hammer. I guess it's more of an upgrade. Look at that attack power on Jade with that Mithril Hammer. It's crazy. Well, the only thing I wouldn't sell then is maybe that Werebuster, and then we'll see how much money we have after that. A lot of this stuff is perhaps good for a different party composition. The knives don't seem to have a place in this party, really. The Runeblade technically does bonus damage against certain bosses and all that. It might be worth it against the Lich, maybe. Maybe I'll hold on to that, although I think we can buy it later if I really want to. I'm also just going to sell these to make money from the green oozes in the Marsh Cave. I think the Worm Killer we're going to sell. We've got 2, so, like, that's fine. Most of this stuff is just garbage equipment that we've just got from enemy drops. Bard's Tunic is worse than the Magical Robe. We've already got one of those equipped. Chainmail, Iron Armor. Yeah, we're making some good money selling stuff off at least. Now, I've already got 1 Magical Robe equipped. Technically, Jade could use the other, but would lose out on some defense. Now, I assume it provides some sort of magic protection, but I think Jade's going to get a pretty good armor upgrade quite soon, because he can equip a lot of really good stuff. So, we're just going to sell that. We definitely don't need more leather shields or leather gloves. Now, technically, these are sort of an upgrade, but I'm going to wait till we can just get mithril gloves that are actually useful, and I suppose someone should equip that Great Helm. It still actually costs a lot for evasion. I'll just give it to Jade for now. It doesn't really matter that much. Anyway, that gives me a bit of an idea of how much money we've got to play with. We're not going to be buying weapons from... Not from Portland was what I was going to say, but from this place. Oh yeah, so I've got to figure out what the other 2 spells for Beret would be. I forget. I think there's another level 3 white spell in Elfland as well. I might want to see what they've got access to. And I don't think we want to waste money on... Nah, okay, let's just get out of here. Don't worry about this. Just spending half an episode shopping in one town. Yeah, it's fine. Look, eventually we'll have an airship, and I can come back and change my spells whenever I want. That's what I want to do. Alright, so let's try to speed through some of this stuff. I feel like we're off to kind of a slow start today, so let's try to, you know, zip right through. We can just, I think, oh, you know what I should have bought was some more mine bombs and stuff, but, we'll wait till we can see what the next set of, item shops can give us. I'll still kill these guys. We can show off, like, Thundera now, I guess. It should do, I don't know if I don't know if pirates are weak to it in this version. But traditionally anything in the ocean is weak to that spell, so... Lightning 2, Thunder Era, whatever you want to call it, it's generally a pretty good spell against a lot of enemies. So yeah, you can buy Rune Blades if you want one later. I don't think I care about that. I've got the Power Staff equipped, so this is just trading one attack for some accuracy. Yeah, the only weapon that's an upgrade is maybe the Longsword. And it's like marginally better than the Worm Slayer. Okay, so I definitely want Warp on Beret, and it might be worth actually losing one off of Jade. Well, it's not like it's bad to have 2 Warp casters, but we can use Beret's MP to warp around, and then Jade can focus on dealing damage. And maybe I'll pick up Slow, I think was the other spell for him. Because he doesn't learn white magic, so that was kind of his thing. And because Melior's already level 4, he can get even more powerful spells right now. So I'm going to start with Blizzara, so he's got the most damaging of our current elemental set. It'll do higher damage, although fewer enemies will be specifically weak to it, I think. And he's only got 3 slots, of course. Temper is pretty good, but it's more the spell that assumedly Beret will learn eventually. And probably Jade, because Jade can't learn white magic. So I believe, yeah, Healera is something I definitely want. You know, remember when we were fighting Astos, and we were having a little bit of a hard time keeping up with his damage dealing with his area of effect spells? Something like Healera would be quite useful in that situation. Now, Arrow... I'm not sure there's going to be a use for it in this playthrough, unfortunately. If you're playing as a proper only white magic caster, it's a nice access to a spell that will work on enemies that aren't only weak to the Dia spell, but it'll work on everything. And some enemies will be weak to it in the mod, but... Oh, I'm gonna buy Clarity for now. I'll probably move this over to the Ranger eventually. But being able to cleanse, stun, and silence is actually really nice early on, so I'm gonna do that. And then we'll just, as the other casters get to level 4 spells, we'll put Clarity and Null Frost probably on the Ranger. But that'll take a little while. So that's all his slots for now. Everyone's all slotted up except Beret. Was there... I forgot. I meant to double check what the level 3 white spells were for him. There aren't any. Okay, that'll show me. It might be in the other shops, actually. There's some other weird level 3. Oh, it's that one, right. No one can learn it. Okay, so that's what happened to the other level 3 white. And... could learn Focus. Yeah, and nobody cares about that spell. Okay, now I'm gonna spend a little bit of money on... I've got a few Phoenix Downs I purchased, probably off camera. I'm gonna buy a few remedies for emergencies. They're very expensive right now. But they will cleanse the stone status, and there's not a lot of other ways to deal with stone right now. So I think that's worth it. Because there will be enemies that can turn us to stone very soon. Now, at the armor shop, again, I feel like, you know, we could buy the Watchman's Mail, we could buy some iron shields. They're fairly cheap. I'm just going to save the money because, you know, the next thing we're going to do is go to a town with more item shops. Let's make a little bit of progress today before we run out of time. And let's go look at Melmond and see what they've got for sale. Oh... I was gonna say this could be kind of an annoying fight depending on our luck with the turn order. If everyone got put to sleep and then Shark chomped on us. Anyway, Thundera works pretty well, obviously. So yeah, now we've got a situation where normally you'd have to go to an inn or use a consumable to clear that. But for the low price of 5 MP, we can heal ourselves of nasty elements. Alright, so I did all the Dwarf Cave, of course, last episode, so now we can finally head to new ground. And let's look at Melmond. Now, We're not going to have access to level 5 magic for probably a few levels, but let's just see what we've got to look forward to. It'll be very nice to have someone with life, or two. Hopefully the ranger can learn life eventually. Yeah, there's a lot of good spells, and I'm going to be missing high-level casters. Haste, of course, is amazing. We will certainly have... oh man, my names are failing me. We'll certainly have Jade use that eventually. And maybe Melior as well. There's a lot of good level 5 spells. Oh yeah, Scourge is much better now, too. This is, well, it used to be Bane, and it had a chance to one-shot enemy, just kill enemies. Now it just does damage, and it's poison elemental damage, which, well, I don't know if we've seen much that's specifically weak to it, but there will be some enemies that are, yeah, like the Lesser Tiger, good guess, Blue, technically takes bonus damage from the Scourge spell, and I think that's really cool, so, some of those are going to be pretty fun to play with. So here we are, another upgrade, but now stuff is getting expensive, so we could buy Mithril Swords. We've already got one hammer, there's an axe, so that's 28 and 10 versus 23 and 16. Great axes are not that great, but they seem kind of bad, actually. Actually, they're kind of bad. Oh man, stop me! Someone help me! And then, so you can buy the Watchman Mail again. Mithril Shield, yeah, like, so we could have spent 640 to get 5 defense, or just spend 3,000 on 8. Certainly not cheap. The good thing with Mithril is it tends to be lighter, so it has the best of better defense at this point in the game, and also lighter for better evasion, so I like that. But it is going to cost a lot of money to gear everybody up. The Mithril Mail, I think I mentioned that before, it's a lot better than it was in the vanilla game, where it has less defense than Iron Armor. It's actually just all around better now. Half the weight and also more defense. I guess they've got Watchman Mail as kind of your interim. Now, I'm not going to spend any of that money just yet, because, I mean, I will soon. But what we're going to do, just to see, we're going to head on over. We're going to sort of sequence break here. I mean, we're going to have to do the Earth Cave soon, but I want to just show off and check out the shop over here in Crescent Lake. Although I don't expect we'll be able to really afford anything. Ooh, this is an interesting fight. This is worth a lot of experience and money if we don't die. Now, I don't think these guys are weak to anything elementally. At least I don't know. But anyway, these guys are fairly strong. You can see they almost killed Melior, or more than half his life in one shot. Even Victus has taken a lot of damage. But if we can survive this fight without too many losses, it'll be pretty good for the overall morale and experience. That worked out really well. So, 1,000 experience, some money at least. Everyone pretty much gonna get a level up on it. And Power Plus. I think that's our first stat increasing item. And I'm gonna be giving Power Pluses probably just to Victus, because everyone else can cast spells. Victus is just attacking, basically, so he might as well have the highest attack. And it doesn't cap at 99, so even if his level ups get him to 99, there's no downside to feeding him extra strength. Now, we did take a lot of damage in that one fight, so let's do some... you know what? I bought... Well, I was going to say I bought some tents, but they're kind of pricey. 200 gold a pop right now, and I'm cheap. I'm super cheapskate. So we're just going to have Beret do some moderate healing on everybody, spend his MP. And then we'll save, and we'll try to get to Crescent Lake some more. That was a good fight, though. I mean, this is probably less efficient for gaining MP, or gaining EXP, the other P. But it's also a much easier fight, so yeah, it's like... Alright, we're going to fight some more anacondas. They're mad that someone made a song about them. It's only a few years ago. It's not that relevant, but... Alright, here's another pretty good fight. This was always my favorite in the NES version. The Double Troll, Double Minotaur fight was always my favorite around Crescent Lake because it was fairly easy and really good rewards. Safer than 4 Peds, I felt. and probably safer than a lot of giants. Also, I think the trolls are supposed to be weak against fire or something. I don't know. We're still taking a ton of damage, but we should actually check, just for interest's sake, seeing as I don't really know in the remake. Let's see. Minotaurs. See, they could drop the Great Axe. I know that that's worth like 10,000 gold, even if it's not that great. Like, we could sell it for a ton of money. So the Minotaurs are only weak to status effects, no elements. And the Trolls, Mithril Sword, again, worth a lot of money. They are, in fact, weak to fire, so I was correct. My memory didn't fail me. I think I ran into the White, which usually is in the Ice Cave. He was in, or at least the Earth Cave, but maybe even the Ice Cave. I ran into this guy in Astos' castle. And the Ankegs, Power Plus, yeah, we got one of those. And Defense Against Poison, that makes some sense. Alright. Luck Plus from the Anacondas. It's nice to see, like, everything has its own special drop now, so there's actually... I feel like it's a lot more valuable just doing random grinding in the modded balance, because almost everything you fight has something that you probably would be happy if it randomly drops. Probably. Okay, so in this store we've got access to basically nothing new, that's fine. And here's the good stuff. Yeah, so this is stuff you normally couldn't even buy because you get one drop of it in the game. One flame mail, one ice armor. Ken Pogi would have been a bonus dungeon item. I guess you could buy knight armor in the base game, but it is very heavy. Sage's Surplus should boost your intelligence. I'm kind of tempted to buy it just to speed up some... Wow, that's a lot of money. Protect Cloaks... Like, I mean, this is good stuff. Like, straight up, it's way better than Mithril. Wizard's Hat, also probably plus intelligence. And also, I don't want to buy things that are going to drop. Like, we are going to find a free Flame Sword and Ice Sword. So buying them is kind of silly when you're going to get one for free. But it's nice to see that, like, look. Actually, the Battle Mage can equip more stuff than the Ranger. That's kind of silly. Flame Staff. There's something for your Sage to equip. So anyway, there's a ton of really cool stuff. I really like the fact that they sell it all. Although it's kind of a trap in the sense that if you spend all your money on it, then you can't afford the spells. So maybe don't go too crazy buying equipment in the modded balance. Maybe save some. Zeal is new in the mod, so this gives you... I think it's kind of like Temper for everyone, or something like that. Isuna is going to work more like the item I bought, the Remedy item. So it's going to hit everybody. I think it's the entire party, all status ailments except death. So it's better than... Well, there was no Isuna anyway, so it's kind of new. It's from Final Fantasy II. Exit, of course, and Vanish is just Invis 2. And then Thundaga is Thundaga. Death is Rub, basically. Quake... I think it deals earth damage now, rather than a chance to one-shot kill enemies. So it's just like Bane and Poison, whatever it's turned into, except earth and quake. So they've switched two of the kill spells into damage spells. And then Comet is new, and it's just a single target high damage spell, which is really nice. Probably mostly for the Sage, but that'll be really nice. It's actually going to be very difficult to choose at each level only 3 spells out of, like, 7 that he wants. So that's going to be fun. Alright, well, that was not a terribly productive trip. Mostly I just wanted to show off the really cool equipment that we're going to try to buy later. But this is a... I mean, we could fight here, but we have to be extra careful. Actually, it wasn't even that bad. Another Power Plus. Maybe we should be grinding here. I don't really want to sequence break too much, so I don't want to buy a bunch of overpowered gear before we're supposed to get it, especially when there's a chance of just finding some that will be just as good and is free in the next dungeon. So, you know, feel free to come down to Crescent Lake, grind on the slightly more dangerous enemies, and buy a bunch of amazing gear. That's not how I'm gonna roll with it, basically. That's all. Just wanted to show it off more than anything. And to be fair, you know, we can buy level 5 magic now at Melmond. We probably will need a few levels up to actually be able to even cast that stuff. Hopefully by the time we kill the vampire and do the dip into Earth Cave, kill the vampire, and then go meet Sarda, we'll have enough levels up to actually cast level 5 magic. I don't know if the scaling is different. Like, I never really memorized, especially in the Dawn of Souls remake, all the various levels you unlock new spell slots at. I don't know if it's different for the mod, technically. Like, it could be exactly the same, and I wouldn't know. So, let's see. We're 25 minutes in. Is that what the clock says? Let's, I feel like I owe you guys a little bit of a dungeon, because we've spent a lot of time just, you know, shopping and talking about gear and stuff that we can't afford. Actually, hold on. Before we go anywhere, I'm gonna go dive into the Earth Cave. We're gonna try to kill the vampire today. But before we do that, hold on. There's some easy upgrades that are pretty cheap. I'm gonna buy 2 mithril shields and 2 mithril helms. And we're going to use that to keep my frontline characters... Yeah, that's... I wonder if it's better to just have that 3 damage. You know, probably is. And he does extra damage to Were Beasts. I'm just thinking, basically. Like, we're not fighting any dragons. Let's just get rid of it. By the time we do fight dragons, we're going to have access to weapons that just do so much more damage. So, my front 2 row characters are going to take a lot less damage per hit. Just max it out with full mithril gear for them. Don't buy 5 blue. Come on, don't be silly. And then can I hand me down something? Like, this is a full mithril knight. And almost full with Watchman's Mail for Beret. So max defense for the front row character. Almost max defense for the second row. And then I feel like I should probably give Jade something. What's the best bang for the buck? Mithril Mail is too expensive. Although if I had bought one, I could have hand-me-down the Watchman Mail. But I did not have enough money, really. I think a Mithril Shield... Gloves are 6, the helm is 10. Yeah, a Mithril Shield and a Mithril Helm. Probably the best bang for the buck we're going to get. Although technically we had the Great Helm anyway, but this is just better. You know what? I'm fine with that. 29 defense. Should be enough to take a couple hits without too much to worry about. This will be about the part of the game where Melior feels really fragile. Everybody else is going to have almost twice as much HP as him, and like 4 times the defense. So if I gave everyone full mithril gear, which wouldn't even take too long to get, like, it would take some grinding to get enough money. But everyone, my front 3 row characters could all get like 45 defense. Not even counting some of the crazy stuff we could buy in Crescent Lake if you want a sort of sequence break. Melior, though, is going to be only magic and very little equipment. It might have been worth buying him that feathered hat. You know, because I'm really worried about them killing him. He's going to be the first character with the access to the life spells, so he's going to kind of have white mage status in the sense that we need to keep him alive so that he can bring everyone else back. Although, if he's so fragile... See, that's kind of the problem. Like, I'm not sure I'm going to like sages very much overall. The other white mage classes, as far as I know, are a lot more defensive And you want to keep them alive so that when everybody else dies, they can cast life, of course. And he's kind of hard. He has a hard time with that. Feathered cap, 1500. Yeah, that's gonna be worth it. I don't have anywhere near the money to spend it on Elven Cloak on him, which is better than a Mithril Shield, but it's also 10 times the money. You know what? I think that was a good decision coming back here. A little bit more defense, a little bit more evasion, because, you know, like I said, I don't want him to go down too easy. All right, whew. Did we just spend half an hour shopping? Okay, we're going overtime today. We're gonna go try to rush down the vampire. It's gonna take another 20 minutes. No, I should really just end the episode before we get there. Ah, well, we'll have a chitty chatty, shoppy woppy episode. In case you're wondering, if you've really never played the game, to the left is a cave that's blocked by a titan that needs a ruby, and until we get a ruby, he won't let us through. Because he's a jerk like that. So we have to go into the Earth Cave to get a ruby, basically. And it's being guarded by a nasty vampire. So that's the vampire I was talking about. The good news is we have access to warp, so we can get out very quickly, which normally you wouldn't. Normally you have to fight your way down, beat the vampire, and then fight your way out. So the mod does make it easier to escape, which is pretty nice. Anyway, that's all for today. I still feel like it was productive. We did a lot of equipment, and we checked out 2 new towns, and we got level up, so that's something. All right, folks, I'll see you next time, and I'll definitely make some progress next episode. Thanks for watching, hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.